Hey, welcome back. It's Yaro with Home Hero, and I got an update for you. I told you I was going to give you guys a mid-month update, and there's a lot to talk about, a lot to dissect, and a lot to read and share with you guys. So, short story is this. I mean, if you want to skip the whole video with all the details and you kind of just want to know what's going on, I can tell you right now, rates are unchanged. As far as what Jerome Powell has said, nothing has changed, and they didn't really announce a decrease per se or increase. However, we have already seen an effect in the market. So rates right now, where are we now? I'm looking at right now at today's mortgage rates right now as we speak. You'll see this video here tonight too, so this is still active. We're running at 6.6 for your conventional and 6.1 for your FHA 30-year loans. That's pretty crazy. We were at 8% just a month ago. So this is amazing news. If you're a buyer, you just got more buying power. You just got more cash in your pocket to buy. So there's definitely going to be a little bit more activity. I think right now, if you are a buyer, these next 2 weeks are prime. You will get the best deals here in the next 2 weeks. Why? Because a lot of people are putting their home search on pause, and they're deciding to wait until the New Year's and wait to see what happens. So I feel like if you are a home buyer right now and you get locked into a 6.5 to 6.6 rate, and you ask for closing costs and or you get a 2-1 buy down program accepted to pay for the seller by the seller, you are in really good shape to not have to deal with all the competition that's coming. Why do I say competition that's coming? This is, of course, speculation, but let's read a couple quotes. Let's read a couple headlines to get you an idea of what is going on. So, history, this is what he says. History will not be kind to current central bank officials, investing officer. So the Federal Open Market Committee will not be looked back to positively after the central bank did not push back on market expectations for cuts next year, said Brad Conger, Deputy Chief Investor Officer at Hurdle, Callaghan and Company. So today's statement was Powell's golden chance to press back on the markets and undermining of his policy. Instead, they used the occasion to congratulate themselves on a mission accomplished. Yes and no. He did say that we're doing better. However, we're a long way from victory. That was his words. So it's not to say that where we've made it, rates are not going to keep going down. However, there has been comments on decreases in next year. They're trying to target that perfect rate to inflation number, and they're trying to give us more rate decreases instead of hikes. What's going to happen? We don't know. However, here's another thing I want to read by the Associated Press here. One reason for Fed could be able to cut rates next year, even if the economy plows ahead, would be if the inflation kept falling as expected. A steady slowdown in price increases would have the effect of raising inflation-adjusted interest rates, thereby making borrowing costs higher than the Fed intends. Reducing rates in this scenario would simply keep inflation-adjusting borrowing costs from rising. There was a lot that was said in the Fed meeting by Jerome Powell. Here's some key takeaways. Rates are not going up or down this month, so we gotta wait until next quarter to see. And he said that rates are not likely to go up, but it is not off the table. The conversation is not off the table. He mentioned that a couple of times when he was asked questions afterwards as well. He said that we have good progress on inflation, but we have a ways to go. They're setting a plan for the next 2 years to do continual rate decreases or rate drops. And he says Fed doesn't need a recession to cut rates. A big conversation right now is recession, because we still haven't formally addressed that we're in one, at least, on the headlines. However, a lot of us are feeling that we are in a recession, right? And it's not like we're in the best economy. And the continual wars and the continual issues within different countries are affecting us here at home. So, but he says, hey, we don't really need a recession in order to keep rate drops continuing to decrease rates. However, a lot of things of what we see is when we are in a recession, rates go down. So a lot of investors are thinking, okay, if they publicize a recession, we'll see some significant rate drops as well as prices. So I guess we'll see what happens, because the other side of the coin is when rates drop, prices go up. There's definitely going to be more interest, especially by investors or those of you who have been waiting. So I feel like it's a double-edged sword, there's a lot that can happen, and we're not quite clear on what's going to happen. And again, with this last meeting, it was kind of unclear on where we're headed. Are we heading into a recession? One of the Associated Press members asks, and he says, we're not in one now, but always a chance that there will be one in next year. So they're hinting at a possible announcement of a recession, but at the same time saying we're not in one now, which, take it as you may. I mean, we all know kind of where we're at right now. And it's been such a game of rates. I mean, we've been in 6, we've been in 7, and we've been in 8. And when we hit 8, things stalled, right? Things got really quiet. And I would know, because I'm an agent, and lenders would tell you the same thing. And so it's a real possibility that they'll finally announce a recession, which will then, have a little domino effect on where rates will go. So keep an eye out for that. That could be an opportunity for you to buy next year and plan for next year, or buy now. Again, I would say we have a pretty cool window right now. If you're still going to be buying, you have a pretty unique opportunity to still get a lot of your own buyer terms accepted by the sellers. Now let's flip that aside and let's talk about sellers. Should you sell right now? Is it a good time to sell? A lot of you guys are going to put a pause on this because you're in Christmas. Who wants to move during Christmas? Not a lot of people want to move while having the Christmas tree up. So if you're planning to sell next year, what I'll say is there's a lot of things that matter, including your media, including your marketing, your agent, your negotiating power. And right now, you're going to see a little bit less negotiating power than before, because we will see a little bit of an increase in buyer demand. That doesn't say that you shouldn't sell. If you need to sell, you need to move. It doesn't really matter, because you're going to be making a change anyways. What will matter is the agent you hire for the job. So, rates matter for you as well, especially if you're selling to buy or if you're moving out of state. There's a lot of things we could be doing to increase value and increase your possibility to net the most amount of money on your return. So I just want to play this one little sound bite from Jerome Powell here. Listen to this. I don't know if you'll pick this up, but this is from the FOMC press conference meeting yesterday.
As you well know, it's so hard to know exactly what the real rate is, or exactly how tight policy is at any given time. So
you heard it from the man himself. It's really hard to know what the rate is, and that could have not been any further from the truth. It's so hard to really see where we're headed, because it's been so volatile. We've seen rates up, we've seen rates down. It's changing weekly. If you're buying, if you're selling, give me a call. We'll talk about rates. We'll talk about where we are. Right now, we are in a special 2-week window. It happens every December, but even more so now, because we just saw rates drop, even though it wasn't announced that we're seeing a rate drop. So 6.6, 6.1 on FHA 30-year fixed. Pretty amazing compared to where we've been. However, most likely going to see some more rate drops next year for all you buyers out there. And if you're thinking about selling, let me know how this may affect you and what we can do now to strategize to net you the most amount of money on your sale. Until then, I'll keep you guys posted on more updates, and thank you for watching. Leave a comment and share this with someone who is also interested in real estate, looking to buy or looking to sell. Until then, thanks.